Honey, where are you going?
Where are you going?
Again? Just where are you going?
Where are you going? You're not going to the bar again, are you?
You like hanging out, drinking beer at the bar, talking sports? Come on out and join us weekly. Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, your podcast for just that. Hanging out, drinking some beer, talking sports.
Are you really doing season 4 of that stupid podcast?
Y'all know the name of the show. It's Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. And what do guys do when they talk sports at the bar? They drink beer. So if you want to buy us a beer, you can Venmo us. The Venmo is at Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. Thank you for joining another episode of Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. This is the sports talk show where we just get together with a microphone between us, drinking some beer, whiskey, and
Water.
Secret 7 or something out in water, yeah.
Secret 7, I haven't heard that since like
1994.
98. It was 86.
So I got me some Seagram's gin.
So here we are at MJ's Bar in Columbia, South Carolina. Thank you all for joining us. Stay tuned as we discuss Week 12 college football. Big games this weekend going. We got, what is that? Lots of good games this weekend, so we're going to be talking about all of those. You got Utah, Arizona, Georgia, Tennessee, Michigan, Maryland, Louisville, Miami, and Washington versus Oregon State. There might be a few upsets in that mix. You never know.
Oh, there's an upset you ain't got listed on
here. We go.
We'll talk about it.
There we are. Then we'll talk about it. That's right. So feel free to share the show with your friends, subscribe, give us a positive review on your favorite podcast app. Share the show with your friends. That's the biggest point. And then join our Facebook group. You can do that by checking out Facebook. Just type in Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. You'll see it. Join. It's fun. And then if you like to support our liquor drinking habits, you can go ahead and send us some money. And that can be done through Venmo at Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. We love it when people buy us rounds of drinks.
I like drinks. And
we
I
like
cannot
drinks.
Lie.
All right.
I like it a lot.
Sipping on gin and juice, right?
Big drinks.
So let's do some introductions here. We got to my right, my man Chopper. What are you drinking, Chopper?
Guinness tonight.
Ooh,
Sounds
that's
delicious.
God's nectar.
We got the
Yes,
Rooster.
it is.
The Rooster's drinking some Secret 7.
Also known as bourbon and ginger ale, but that's fine. You know, if you want
A
to
little
get
7 and 7.
we'll lay back.
A rare occasion, we got my man Ripper the Predictor.
Occasion.
The fisherman extraordinaire going to the Nationals.
Did you kiss those bass?
I see where your focus is at on fishing, not on the show, which is fine.
Hey, I just want you guys to be able to talk about me next November when I'm winning the national championship.
What are you drinking?
Just don't forget about us little guys.
I'm drinking Legal Remedy White Mocha Stout.
All right, we got my man, the Chief. Chief, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Got you some seltzer water?
I do.
Oh, I see the bubbles in there and everything.
With a
dude.
lemon.
With a lemon, nice.
Is that
little
Zima?
Little Zima.
Yeah, no, it's club soda.
And we got
With
the
a lime. With a lime.
We got the Rebel over there, always drinking some Makers and Diet.
Yes.
Ah.
100%.
I guessed it right
I'm
this
sickly
time.
otherwise.
How's life doing over there, man?
Hey, man, I'm sitting here drinking booze with you on a Tuesday night. It can't be too terrible.
That's not too bad at all. So, Ripper, I don't know if you know this, but every week, since you're new here, every week,
I've been busy.
we go through some words of the day, right?
Yeah.
And that's to let us talk about last week's games, because we used to only look forward, but now we look back a little bit because there's always good stuff to talk about. But the week passed, right? So there was one game that probably had you saying "damn" last week, or it might have been a player. Mine, for example, had me saying "damn" was Jaden Daniels and 700 yards against the Florida Gators. The entire time I'm like, "Damn." So what game had you saying, or player? All
right, so this one is a little different. I'm going to go off script here. I lost the state championship by less than a pound and a half. On the first day of the tournament, I broke off a 4-pounder. If I'd have got that in the boat, I would have won the state championship. It's okay. I got bridesmaid. I'm still going to nationals. But losing that fish made me say, damn!
That would suck. I got you. So, Chief, you always got some good notes there. So tell me what's in your notes on what's made you say "damn" last week.
So Saturday night late, UNC beat Duke. They were down.
It was double overtime, right?
UNC was down by 3 with 40 seconds left in the game. Actually, they were up by 4. Duke scored a touchdown with 40 seconds left. UNC comes back in 40 seconds, scores a field goal, pushes it to overtime. They win in double overtime by 2.
Nice. By 2?
By 2.
With a safety?
47, 45.
No, you had to go for 2. So they
Two-point
get a 2-point
conversion.
conversion.
Oh, okay. Got you. Okay. Got you. Rebel.
Well, he kind of had mine, but I had a backup. Man,
I like when you get backups.
Look, what is it about these
Back that ass up.
quarterbacks? What is it about these quarterbacks after a bad game, crying in press conferences, crying to them? Mac Jones is sitting there quivering, but he couldn't even control his bottom lip.
He got pulled out of the game, right?
He got pulled out of the game.
Second time this season.
Dude, but I'm saying this dude is a grown man. He's at work. He gets pulled, and I'm like, he can't even talk because his lips quivering so bad. I'm
Real
like,
men
boy,
cry, man.
Get your shit together.
Right?
Sorry, it's a family show. Get your shit together.
Rooster, you got one.
Look, I know we got a large supporter of this particular team that they're not going to like, but Cody Schrader just opened up a can of Whoop ASS Missouri against Tennessee. I mean, just a thumping of 36-7. Let's look at the stats. Cody Schrader, 35 carries, 205 yards for a touchdown, another 5 receptions for 116 yards. Hey, Tennessee, put a guy on him. Damn.
Yeah, and that was actually on my unexpected as well.
That was my
because
damn.
I did not expect. It was unexpected to me that Tennessee would lose so bad to Mizzou. I thought it would at least be a tight game. I figured Tennessee would come on top. Mizzou is. I don't know if they're the real deal, but they had a really good game.
I mean, Tennessee should bounce back this week.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. What else was unexpected?
Rooster stole mine. I was going to go with Missouri. The way Eli Drinkwitz has that team playing,
Yep.
I mean, they're silently sneaking up on people. 8-2 right now. You know, beat the socks off of Tennessee. Yeah, damn. Mizzou.
Damn.
Totally.
Anything unexpected happened last week, Rebel?
You score 51 points and win a game and get fired. Why then? I mean, Jimbo Fisher smacks Mississippi State, wins.
But Mississippi State is.
It don't matter. You don't get fired after a win like that.
So who do they play this week?
I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah.
That may be the only time anyone's ever gotten fired after winning a game for sure.
Yeah, I think they wanted to fire him before he had a signature win this year, potentially. So then it would be more difficult to let him go.
I agree with that. That was
not most unheard of thing.
That was my unexpected was the timing around the firing around Jimbo Fisher, right?
Yep, that was mine.
We all expected it to happen, but the timing. Now, here's the thing: if they have a plan in place, then okay, I can maybe buy it. If they don't have a plan in place, I don't know about that timing.
And we're going to talk more about that.
I don't know about that timing.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about that.
Does that timing have to do with a man that wears a lot of gold, has got a lot of yap and a lot of arrogance for his number one recruit to decommit from Colorado?
I don't know if they can afford that though.
He's not going.
They can afford it.
He's not going to Texas A&M after
They're already
half the
paying
season.
$76.8 million.
I will tell you that Texas A&M alumni are super strong.
Anyway,
We got a lot of talking at the same time, guys.
That's how we do it here.
Our list. Well, yeah, when you're here.
I got one more unexpected.
I got one too.
All right. Oklahoma State had won 5 in a row. They go down to UCF, play in Florida. They lose 45-3. They turn the ball over 5 times. I may have had some money on Oklahoma State, so it was near and dear to my heart.
The bounce house was going crazy.
Just unbelievable. So if you look at UCF, they're so up and down. They go into they play against the Sooners, play them down to the wire. They go into West Virginia, get crushed by West Virginia, who isn't really playing anything. And then a 5-game winning streak, Oklahoma State red hot, including beating the Sooners, goes into UCF, goes into Central Florida, and loses 45-3.
Just get crushed. They just got crushed.
Almost suspicious to Las Vegas.
So to me it was unexpected. Michigan won so soundly against Penn State, but what was really unexpected was J.J. McCarthy not throwing a pass the last 36 and a half minutes of the football game. So
19 straight runs.
Oh yeah, it was. Let's run the ball. Let's run the ball. Let's run the ball. Let's run the ball. All they did was run the ball.
If it
Blake
works.
Corum had a freaking
I think
phenomenal
you
game.
said that's how it was going to play.
You said that?
Yeah, he did.
It's going to run it down their damn
Just
throat.
run it down their throat.
I mean, but also you look at James
Against what
Franklin
was the
again.
second best running defense.
I guess James Franklin again showing that he is not going to be a coach that's going to bring them past the 9-3, 10-2 mark. At one point, it was 4th down, 4.5 minutes left in the game. They're on their own 35-yard line, and he goes for it. They have all 3 timeouts. At that point, it was still a 7-point game. It was a 1-score game. Can't figure out what James Franklin is doing in the big games.
Yeah, those boys over there, he needs to be drilling it down their head the first 8 games of the season. We're going to beat these guys. We're going to beat Penn State, or excuse me, we're going to beat Ohio State. We're going to beat Michigan. Like, that is what we're here to do this year. Because you're going to win every other game pretty much. All right, Ripper, go.
Unexpected. The Cleveland Browns. I know we're kind of a college football show here, but hey, let's give a little love to the NFL. The Browns were down 14-0 in like the first 8 seconds against Baltimore. In the fourth quarter, still down 14 points, somehow managed to come back, and despite missing an extra point late in the fourth quarter, get the ball back, go down, hit the game-winning field goal, and beat, at the time, the number 1 ranked team in the NFL, the Baltimore Ravens. Cleveland Browns are now 6-3.
Nice.
That's
okay.
unexpected.
If you're a Ravens fan, you're sick to your stomach. However, does this go for the scripts?
Oh yeah, at the emblem last year being purple and black.
No, I'm just saying the script of the Kansas City Chiefs. Who are their competition? Oh, the Ravens. Oh, the Bengals. Both lost to inferior teams. Kind of suspicious, don't you think?
Are you a conspiracy theorist?
I'm just saying.
Suspicious isn't on our list.
Suspicious is not.
The Browns also
Beast
beat
mode.
the Niners.
Hey, what was going on last
hobbled
weekend
Niners.
that was kind of like a beast mode moment for you, besides Kenneth Grant, all 340 pounds of that man, chasing down Katrin Allen in that Michigan versus Penn State game? My man posted about that earlier today, and I actually, when I was
rolling.
When I was watching the game, I literally backed it up.
Physically.
I backed it up 20 seconds so I could rewatch that again, because that was just insane how fast that dude was.
Let's just talk about the entire Michigan team being in beast mode right now and will be in beast mode for the rest of the season.
They're good.
They have something to prove. They got their backs against the wall right now.
They don't have a head
those
coach.
Those players didn't do anything. They're like, why does everybody cheat, think we're this, that, blah, blah, blah. We're going to go out there and prove how good we are.
That's a big
Might
ass
be
chip
the
on the
best thing
shoulder.
that ever happened to Michigan.
They're insane. They're a good team for sure.
They are.
But we do have the Ohio State game coming up
I
next
know,
week.
that's going to be a good game.
That's going to be a very fun game to watch. I hope anyone else got a beast mode for me.
Go ahead.
Ripper, go.
All right, I'm sticking in the NFL. I think early on in the year, and the narrative for several years is that Ohio State does not produce NFL talent quarterbacks. C.J. Stroud has been beast mode the entire year, led his team to a second consecutive game-winning drive, threw for over 300 yards. He's got 14 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. He's a legitimate MVP candidate as a rookie. I'm not saying he's the top, but he's in the top 5 in MVP candidates.
I'm not sure who's beating him right
Beast
now.
mode.
Rebel, why are you shaking your head no?
It's early in the season. We're halfway through. There's a lot of football to be played yet.
Like my man over here says, there's a lot of football left to be played, right? Anything can happen this season, but yeah.
Beast mode, all I got to say is Georgia stepped on Ole Miss. I don't think Ole Miss is anything but flat now.
I don't think Ole Miss knew what the hell happened to them. Honestly, after that game was over with, they're like, did we even prepare for this team that we just played? Because it doesn't look like it.
But Lane Kiffin always looks like my uncle on the day after Thanksgiving on the sidelines. He was perplexed, confused. He had no idea. After the first scripted 3 minutes of that game, Ole Miss never had a chance.
Yeah, when it was 14-14 at halftime, right? Or I don't think it was quite halftime. It was right before halftime. I was like, okay, this is going to be a good game. And then nothing happened after that. What, did they score one more touchdown after that? And Georgia
Field
scored
goal.
like 4?
Yeah, field goal.
Field goal, that was it.
That was it, yeah.
52-17.
Last week, did anyone have a told you so moment? Because I did not.
Yeah.
I think somebody just like, Ole Miss goes in and gets it. I said they will lose by 2 scores at least. I told you so.
Did I say they were?
He did. He said they were going to go in and win that ball game.
Tennessee's going to do that this week.
Yeah, okay. So he is stuck on the idea that Georgia's going to be a 3-loss team.
Totally.
No SEC school in the Final Four.
Chopper's convinced Georgia's going to be a 2-loss team this year.
Yeah.
He's convinced, and every single week he's been calling a
Now it's got to be Tennessee and Alabama. And after that, it's got to be Georgia Tech and Alabama. They're going to lose to Alabama.
How many losses does Auburn have? Let's move on.
Doesn't matter.
A stopped clock is right twice a day. Yeah. So if you keep saying Georgia's going to lose, if it's not this year, it'll be next year or the year after. They're going to lose eventually.
I wasn't here last week, but if I was here last week and Cheeks was here last week, which I don't think she was.
She was.
I would have said, I told you so, because Washington rolled over USC just like they should have. Again, Caleb Williams proves time and time again that he's going to be a mediocre quarterback. He's going to go in the first round, and it's going to be another disappointing
I don't
first
know if
round
he goes in the
quarterback.
first round anymore.
And they rolled over Utah last week, and that was a lot of people are saying Utah's going to be competitive.
I'm sorry,
against
it was Oregon that rolled over USC. So if you remember at the beginning of the season, I said USC is at best an 8-4 season.
That's about what
told you so.
Hey, did you put money on that?
I wish I did.
So that's pretty impressive.
If I had, they'd be 1-7.
My man, Bodacious, the super slinger, still putting up great numbers.
Surprised that wasn't your beast mode moment. 400 yards.
Still putting up Heisman numbers.
Nice.
And, could win it at the end.
Barroom Brawl.
Next.
Barroom Brawl. Miami versus FSU. That's the one, but there's got to be more. Any other barroom brawls out there?
Washington, Utah. The 1 touchdown difference.
Yeah, it was a fun game to watch. I watched that one late night, I think is when it was.
But I think if we look at this week, I think we're underestimating the Washington-Oregon State game. DJ Alphabet coming into play against.
They're going there.
They're going there.
Oh, okay,
They're going to Oregon State. Yeah,
I mean,
It's in Beaver Stadium.
I mean,
That's my upset of the week.
I mean, I think it's a tough place to play. So we're
I don't think it's a tough place to play.
Dabo
There might be
jersey?
45,000 people in that stadium.
I'm just saying, how many times have you gotten in a
Look,
fight
I tell you
with
how
the
many
Beaver?
times I've watched a great Oregon team have the last game of the year go into Corvallis and get their ass stomped. So
that is
possible.
true. That is true because that's usually a convincing game.
That's usually like in the past when Oregon has been really good, they'll go there and lose to a mediocre Oregon State team. This year, Oregon State's not that bad. So
You should always fear the Beavers.
absolutely,
The Beavers. All right, so
How about Barroom Brawl, Texas squeaking by TCU?
yeah, that shouldn't have been that way. But TCU is a very mediocre team this year. Not the team that they were
Well,
last
to your
year.
point,
obviously.
saying how Texas will be in with 1 loss, and they are not going to be doing that.
Because of that, because they keep on barely winning
Correct.
against.
Yeah, but you also
unranked
look
teams.
at. I think if you get to the end of the season, your record's gonna stand the test of time. I think the Big 12 is competitive enough where a 1-loss team does get in if they win the Big 12 championship, which I think they will with the way the Sooners are playing.
How does this work out though? If Texas
And
wins
Oklahoma.
out, let's say Texas and Oklahoma.
Georgia loses to Alabama in the SEC championship. Now they're both got 1 loss.
Yeah, and
But
Texas
they-
beat Alabama in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, right now they're ranked ahead of them.
That puts Georgia in.
That puts.
Not
does
if
that
they
put
lose
Texas
to the
in?
Vols.
But does that put Texas in?
No,
No.
Yep.
I don't think so.
It's. I mean, Texas is ranked above Alabama
Tennessee
right
can't
now.
play that bad.
But again, this is why going to 12 teams is going to be so beautiful.
But
It's gonna be. It's good.
legitimately, unexpected. I think after week 1, nobody would have sat here and said Alabama was going to be a 1-loss team, and we were talking about them playing in the national championship. Because we
That's
all
true.
thought that wasn't going to happen.
That was my unexpected.
Unexpected for sure. So
His friend over here is an Alabama fan.
Yeah, BP.
And all we do is
Hey,
all we're gonna do
C130, come on.
all we're gonna do is talk crap about
Tell us
Alabama.
about Alabama.
For
here.
the rest of this
when
time.
you have a friend that is an Alabama
about
fan,
Alabama
you've got to
here.
use air quotes.
You're not allowed. Yeah, he's probably not really an Alabama fan, to be honest with
All
you.
right, so question to you, good sir. Alabama, are they making the playoffs?
You gotta
or not?
speak up
And
loud.
why?
Yes, they are. They are making the playoffs.
Why?
They're going to beat Georgia in the SEC championship game.
I think so, yeah.
So two
People are
1-loss
sleeping-
teams.
People are sleeping on Alabama. No, not 2 SEC teams in.
So you tell me Georgia runs the table and loses a close nail biter to Alabama in the SEC championship. They hold them out, the two-time defending champion.
That's right, they do. Because Florida State's in.
Florida State's gonna be undefeated at the end of the season.
Undefeated.
Washington's
Big
most
Ten
likely going to be as
championship
well.
In the Pac-10. Washington. It'll be between Oregon and Georgia.
That'd be so gross.
It'll be between Choppers, Bo Nix.
Wait a second. Washington still hasn't been beaten yet and has the tiebreaker against Oregon. So we got to see what happens there.
We allow anyone on the show, by the way. Apparently, anyone that wants to come on the show, we invite them on. So
I don't think we'll see two teams from the SEC this year.
Tell
and
me-
whoever wins the SEC championship is in, whether that's Alabama or Georgia.
Yeah.
I just don't know how you can take a team that's two-time defending national champion if they lose their last game of the season. And
Also with the 124th easiest schedule in NCAA football. So I think you look at it, I think
Strength of
Alabama's
schedule
played
can
a
hurt
better
them.
strength of schedule and has the latest win, and that matters.
And they're all about looking at this year. What have they done this year?
They're going to pay attention to this year.
Yeah.
They're going to pay attention to the most
If
recent
you
games
think
over.
you're going to keep your two-time defending national champion out of the playoffs with one loss in a conference championship game, you're out of your freaking
They're going to
mind.
lose to Tennessee this weekend. They are.
Yeah, and they're losing to
I'm
Georgia
calling
Tech
it right now.
They're losing to Georgia Tech the week after
Yes.
too. So
I just take his predictions and bet against them.
It'll be great it'll be great if Georgia goes in and loses 2 games in a row and then beats Alabama in the SEC championship, because then we'll just have chaos.
That's much like his
Absolutely.
Ole Miss prediction last year.
Oh, somebody's listening.
Somebody's been listening. All right, we got to move on.
all right. So thank you for the moving on.
Trying to help Alabama out, man.
All right. So what's the most surprising development that's happened this season in y'all's opinion? I got Ripper. Go on that. The most surprising. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you.
What's the most surprising development this season?
I thought Ohio State was going to be an 8-4 team.
You did.
Honestly, yeah.
Why?
We had a
Who are
hard.
they going to play against?
I'm
that's gonna
shocked
be-
that Ripper's talking about Ohio State. Here we go.
Well, somebody's got to. Damn it.
We can't talk about Syracuse every week.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Hey, we can't talk-
SEC.
Who had a win
SEC,
last week and is one
SEC.
game away from being bowl eligible.
We can't talk about Ohio State. They don't play
Offensively,
anybody.
for the last 5 years, 10 years, we've been top 10 statistically. There's that word again. We have struggled on numerous occasions this year, and the reason we are undefeated is because of our defense. Now, Jim Knowles has done a great job, but Kyle McCord has slowly started to come along. Unfortunately, I believe that ends probably in a couple of weeks. But so far, I thought we would be probably 8-2 instead of 10-0.
Okay.
I'm surprised.
Rebel. What's a surprising development this season?
I think this year in collegiate football, you have seen more parity than you have seen in a really, really long time.
Why is that when it's the last season of the top 4 being in the playoffs?
That's a whole show into itself, I think.
Do you think
NILs and stuff, all this kind of stuff.
Transfer
And portal, COVID kids hanging around till they're 85 years old, still
Bo
throwing,
Nix.
5,000 yards in the season.
Bodacious.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think there's no, like I said, Georgia has looked really good, but to Rooster's point, their schedule you can question. But there's just nobody, like last couple of years, Georgia was just head and shoulders
Head and shoulders
everybody.
above, yeah.
This year, I still think they're above the chin, but they could be beat. And I just don't, I mean, you can see anybody going into this year, I feel like whoever makes the Final Four, regardless of who that is, you can argue, has a legitimate shot of running the table just based off what we've seen this year.
This is the first year, in my opinion, where I don't think everything's going to work itself out at the end, right? Where there's going to be a lot of questions. Like last season, or 2 seasons ago, I think Texas A&M was ranked 5th, and people were like pissed that they weren't in, or something like that. And then last season,
I'd
you
never
knew
be
that
pissed that Texas A&M wasn't in.
last season number 5 was Alabama, and they were trying to make the case that they should be in there, but they were a 2-loss team.
Yeah.
So there was no reason why they should have been in over TCU.
Here we go.
The year before,
He
like,
heard his code.
but that being said, this year I don't know it's going to work itself out by the end of the season, so that's kind of odd to me as well.
The SEC is just less dominant for the first time in a long time, and I think it's because of NIL and because of the transfer portal. All of a sudden, you got fans, boosters, who are able to help help improve their teams.
Do you think there's a possibility as well that the recruiters have been working on this whole theory that, hey, you know what, our team's going to the SEC or the Big Ten, and then also, hey, by the way, in 2 years it's going to be a top 12 team, so all of us can have a chance. Whereas it used to be, you go to Georgia because you want to play for a national championship. You want to go to Alabama because you want to play for a national
Not
championship.
during the Mark Richt years.
Well, no. This is the last.
There's
This last 2 years, though, they've been able to recruit on that.
I think may have a different theory on it, and that is that when you look at some of these kids that want to play immediately, if you're going to go to Georgia, you're probably not going to play for your first 2 years unless you're absolutely outstanding. If you go, and I think Clemson is seeing some of this. They saw a lot of NIL leave Clemson because they were stout in 2017 to 2020.
Yeah.
But then they lost a lot, and we're seeing some results of that. So I think that some of it is kids that want to play. It's diluting the pool a little bit because they're not going to go to some of these powerhouses because they want to be on the field right away, and these powerhouses, you're not going to be on the field right away.
Yeah, that's true.
The counter argument to that is Manning. He's down there making $5-6 million a year, and he ain't gonna see a snap this year.
That's the exception rather than the rule.
Yeah, but I'm saying
he's
a
a popular
top-tier talent ain't gonna care. They're 18-year-old kid. Yeah, you're not gonna play, but we're gonna put $3 million in your bank account.
Yeah,
okay, where do I sign?
But he still wants to play. I
Oh no, he
guarantee
wants
it.
to play, but he's willing to wait his time because he's getting insurance put in the bank every week.
You know the team that nobody's talking about anymore, Colorado.
I had them on my list of the most surprising developments.
How were they surprising?
They have a 6% chance
of making a bowl game, going 6-6.
No, they're not going to make a bowl game. They're going to lose this weekend.
I think even getting to the point of what's unexpected, the Pac-12 being a powerhouse again is very, very unexpected.
They won't be there next year.
And they weren't, and they're not even going to be there next year. But I think in the beginning of the season, Washington might have been number 23 or 24 in the country. USC was ranked number 3 or 4. I think Oregon was in the top 10. You know, and
it's a fluky season. You're not going to see seasons like that consistent out of a conference like that.
Well, they're not going to be a conference anymore. And so I just wonder a little bit.
Even if they did, you wouldn't see that.
If the Pac-12 had been like this consistently over the last 10 years, would they be being dissolved next year? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
If they had played like this 2 years ago, probably not. Because they would have been able to get more TV.
They're not going to be consistent. It's a fluky season.
SEC championship is set. Alabama versus Georgia. Both teams will be traveling well, or both of the fans base will be traveling to that game. It's not gonna be a home game for Georgia. It's gonna be pretty much divided, just like a off.
Nah. So unless they have changed how they did the SEC championship, the first SEC championship game was who? Florida and Alabama. Those folks bought those tickets. Unless they've changed the way they do it, those folks get first rights to buy those tickets every year.
So the Alabama fans are going to have the first.
They get all right to buy the tickets to that game every year, and then Florida fans do. And so then it's whether Florida buys it and then scalps them or Florida declines them. But they get first right of refusal because as long as you keep your tickets every year, you get the first opportunity the next year. So how much Georgia gets into that game is going to be one, how much are they willing to pay, and how many Florida fans are willing to sell it to them.
I mean, tickets at the nosebleeds right now are like $250, $300 a piece.
Yeah.
And if you go to the ACC championship, it's like $75 a piece, right?
Exactly.
So a big difference. A lot more fans will be wanting to go to this game. The demand is there, obviously, if the prices are high.
$6.15 to be in the nosebleeds.
Holy crap!
How much?
For the SEC championship?
I think I can find ACC championship tickets for less than $75.
Yeah,
that day you might find it for $20.
You probably could. So, what is this game going to play out like, though? What do y'all think from this point forward? Like, Alabama, are they going to win this game? Georgia's going to win this game? Is this going to be a close game or what?
I think it's a question mark. I think this is probably the first time. Well, not the first time. This is a 50-50 toss-up game 100%. You look at how Alabama's playing. They've developed their quarterback to the point where he's playing very, very well.
Yep.
Alabama defense is Alabama defense. Georgia defense, still an amazing defensive set. I think the question mark really comes down to the quarterback for Georgia being first year in role. And if I'm going to judge it by looks alone, he's the goofiest guy I've ever seen in my life.
But he's a good quarterback.
But he's a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. I think he does manage the game. I think they have Brock Bowers back. I don't think they have the powerhouse running game to have balance. I think they're going to have to put the ball in his hands to rely on him, and I think that might be the difference in the game, and I think that favors Alabama.
Alabama has the defense to prove it. I think that it would definitely come down to a defensive game because both offenses are a little bit skeptic, right?
I think if Texas played Alabama tomorrow, Alabama beats them by 2 touchdowns.
I think this is going to be as much of a game because those two teams are as evenly matched as they've been in years. This will legitimately be who outcoaches who.
Yeah.
Who's going to scheme the other team better?
And I don't know if that's a toss-up
and
there.
You know what?
I'm going with Nick Saban.
Look,
we say don't bet against Saban.
Don't bet against Saban, even though Kirby has come out on the better side of this.
Can you bet against Milroe though?
Yeah.
So another.
You can't. So that's what my point is. I think it's a low-scoring. Donnybrook. It's going to be a fight.
Alabama's shown that they can score some points, but I think Georgia's been showing lately that they can score some points as well. I think that.
Well, against Ole Miss, they don't have a defense.
I think that each team scores over 30 points.
If I had to guess right now, I would say that game's somewhere around 24-21, 3 points either way, barring an injury.
Yeah. Okay.
It does feel like the SEC became more of the Big 12, and the Big 10 has become more of the SEC. It seems like the Big 10 is more.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching. Boy, those Iowa games.
Ohio State,
Woo!
man.
Look at those. Listen,
They did go.
What kind of beer are you drinking?
They did hit the over last week on that 29-point over.
Look at the score of the Michigan-Penn State game. Look at the score of the Ohio State-Penn State game. And then look at the scores from the premier SEC teams.
I mean,
tell me I'm wrong.
I think the common denominator there is Penn State, and when they play in a big game, they lose. All of them that they played in the last 3 years, except for the whiteout in 2017. Who did they beat again? I can't remember.
I think it was Ohio State.
I think it was. Yeah.
But Michigan.
How's Syracuse doing?
Michigan.
Eligible, baby.
Michigan does not let people score points at all. I think that defensively they're going to be strong going into a national championship game for sure. But
I do think that Penn State exposed something out of Michigan State is that if you've got to run the ball that many times in a row, and don't get me wrong,
I don't think they needed to.
If the formula worked well, what Penn State did was they attacked the pass and abandoned the run.
You have any passing attempts in that game?
Not off the top of my head.
8. He was 7 of 8.
He was six for
but don't get me wrong.
Very efficient.
You control the clock, and Penn State ultimately couldn't stop him on the run. So as soon as Michigan put an extra offensive lineman in that game, they started bulldozing Penn State. Again, I'm going to go back to coaching. James Franklin made 0 adjustments in that game to stop the run.
I blank and love you, man.
But I just don't understand when you're a highly touted coach and you don't make the adjustments. That adjustment happened halfway through the second quarter. Penn State lost the game at that point going forward, no adjustments made. All I'm saying is the common denominator, what you just said on the comparison to the SEC, I'm not, here's your point, and I can't find it. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, we'll get in the,
right here. Right here.
Hey, you can never make that argument until you get in the playoffs and
win a national championship.
I'm sorry. So Georgia gave up 41 points last year. There's my point.
Yeah, but still.
In the playoffs.
Yeah, but
moving on.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a moot point.
We're on Michigan. Let's talk about the games this weekend, okay? We're going to skip ahead. So, number 2, Michigan plays Maryland. This is a game that Michigan is going to Maryland to play. Maryland has a decent offense, not that good of a defense.
Pretty good quarterback.
Pretty good quarterback. This is a game that, if there's going to be an upset for Michigan, it's going to be this one. Ohio State wouldn't be an upset because they're pretty much evenly matched. But does anyone think that there's a potential for an upset in this game?
No. This game will be close at halftime, and that's it.
Close at halftime.
It'll be close at halftime. Maryland can keep a game close.
And then Blake Corum will show them
unless
what football
Tago
is.
Bailoa has the game of his life, which he could, and that would only keep it close.
He would need to have the game of his life, obviously.
Yeah, he's going to need like 435 yards and 5 touchdowns.
But he hasn't been shown to be able to do that either.
And Michigan hasn't shown that they're going to give that up.
Michigan rolls over everybody.
Yep. Michigan hasn't shown that they're going to let someone score more than 10 or 15 or 10 points at best. So We're going to scratch that off of the upset list then.
Yep.
All
Gone.
Louisville, number 9, goes to Miami.
Why are we not talking about Louisville being a top 10 team?
Okay.
Why would we? I mean,
Why would we?
Because
They're 9-1.
They're a top 10 team. When was the last time they were a top 10
They're
team?
playing in the ACC. They haven't played anybody.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put a beer on Miami beating Louisville.
I agree that they're going to beat them.
I'm not going to bet you a beer, but I'll take that beer.
Miami, Miami hung well.
Can I get one tonight?
By the way, I think that the referees favored Clemson. I'm just going to toss that out there, just a smidge. Okay, not going to say there's any conspiracy theory going on, but
You're all about conspiracy theories tonight.
We need to talk after the show.
Miami. I think Miami. Their 2 losses so far. The Georgia Tech debacle, which was a coaching issue, and then last week, which
Florida State beat them barely.
Yeah, but
It wasn't that.
Emory
it was a
Williams-
close game.
there was a safety in that game. The quarterback was in the end zone,
And they
called it back all the way to the 2-yard line.
Yep.
The quarterback was still running backwards. That's not forward progress. That's backwards progress chosen by the quarterback.
Oh,
By the
100%.
way, they lost to the Tar Heels too. Just
Yeah,
FYI.
and Emory Williams last week was passing not even 30%.
That dude broke his arm in the last play of the game, or last 10 minutes of the game. Terrible kid, man. Terrible. I feel so bad.
Terrible.
But Miami
Barkley.
Miami will be going in there with their original
No,
starter from the beginning of
Louisville's
the
at
season.
Miami.
No, I'm saying Miami will be playing with their Louisville's going to Miami, but Miami's gonna be playing with their original starter, Van Dyke or Van Dickler or something.
Van Dyke.
What the hell's his name? I can't
Van
remember.
Dyke. Dick Van Dyke is
Dick
his
Van
name.
Dyke. No, it's not
Van
that.
Dickle. Did you say Van Dickle?
Used to have a show back in the
I'm
60s.
just making shit up at this point.
He's doing really well for him.
George Van Dickel.
I think it's the Cardinals. They're 12th in defense nationally.
But they haven't played anybody.
Again, I mean, they almost who they lose to? Pittsburgh? Is that who they lost to?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, are you kidding me?
Pittsburgh's terrible.
Pittsburgh's terrible, and granted,
they beat Notre Dame.
And the week after they lost to Pittsburgh. For
that's their only
Syracuse
loss.
beat. You got to pick up on Syracuse. Syracuse beat Pittsburgh 28-13 last week. Get out of here.
So I think we're split on whether this is going to be an upset or not. I agree that the upset's going to be happening.
I think Miami takes it.
All 10,000 of those fans are going to be going crazy.
Van Dyke is back.
They're going to be.
Back
All
again.
10,000 fans are going to rush the field. Okay, because that's about how many people are going to show up at that game. Number 16 Utah, number 19 Arizona. I'm not really sure with this game. Probably an even matchup. Arizona's been playing good. Utah.
Arizona
you
has
know?
not been playing good.
They actually, I mean, if you look at the Arizona losses, they've been close in every single loss they've had.
And they barely beat Colorado.
I mean, okay.
Hey, Colorado is a team.
Colorado's a good offense. They have a good offense. They do. They just don't have a defense.
Utah played hard as snot against Washington this past weekend.
Hard is not hard.
Yeah. So who wins this game?
When it's a booger.
Who wins this game?
Utah.
Then? Utah wins this game.
I'll just say this: Utah, tough loss last week. They might be emotionally drained. Arizona has nothing to lose by losing this game. They have everything to gain by winning this game.
Hanger, are you emotionally drained right now?
Look at them.
100%. Yeah, for sure.
By the way, I mean, if we're talking about, I just got to go back for unexpected. I'm at the gym Saturday.
You got a lot of unexpected
You didn't go to the gym.
I went to the gym.
He said gin.
Yeah, well, I went to the gym Saturday.
Who see anybody going beast mode in there?
I saw this guy. His
Beast
name
mode.
rhymes with Manger, and I got to tell you, I think I know who taught Phil Mickelson how to do his calf workout, if you know what I mean. His name is Hanger.
Like no cats?
Chopper.
Chopper, excuse
Chopper.
me, the Chopper.
It rhymes with Mopper, Whopper, Stopper.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into a real game that's actually going to be played then.
Is that good or bad?
Let's talk about the number 5 Washington Huskies versus number 12 Oregon State. Okay? Somebody already mentioned that this is going to be an upset. I don't know who
Potential.
it was.
Yeah, here comes a rooster. No, that's not him.
But Washington has not exactly been blowing out their opponents.
I just said
It was Rebel.
We agreed.
But
It was
Rebel
me that
came
brought
in.
it up, and then-
Rebel like blew the door. He's like, Beavers.
Are you hating on me tonight?
Yes.
We need to
Beavers
talk
win the
after
game.
this. Okay.
Yes, about conspiracy theories.
Again, I've been anyways,
I can see that as an upset.
I will say that to your point that Washington has not been handily beating anybody. They've been a touchdown, maybe 8 or 9 points ahead of everybody.
But they've been sufficiently doing the right thing every game, and they win.
They found a way
against tough opponents.
Yeah, you look at that.
It's mid-October.
The Oregon game came down to inches, So I honestly believe those are probably either one of those teams. I would vote for to be in the top 4. Oregon.
A lot of people think Oregon's a better team, even though they lost.
We'll find out again in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Play them again.
Yep.
That's true.
Oregon State has a chance to upset Washington if their defense shows up. Because that is, in the Pac-12 this year, nobody plays defense.
No, that's
DJ needs to use his legs as well as his arm
Yep.
to beat or to beat.
All I'll say
Washington.
is, to your point, I haven't seen Washington's defense show up either. So
Not
42
much.
against.
you're talking about maybe
They did against Utah.
a turnover or two either way.
It seems like they show up when they need to.
I agree with that.
You
I
know?
agree with that.
But I do think Beavers could win.
I don't think.
I
the
mean, Beavers always win, unfortunately.
I don't think that the
We always
Beavers
give
win.
it to the Beavers.
Yeah.
The Huskies tear
In the
that
end,
beaver.
that's where your money goes.
The Huskies eat that beaver out. Okay.
Whoa!
That's aggressive.
We're being a little more subtle over here on this side of the table.
They do.
Let's move on. We got to move on.
They tear that beaver up.
Moving on.
Wow. Eat the beaver.
Let's talk about that game.
Yeah. Let's move on. Next question.
Number 1 Georgia versus number.
We ain't talking about the
Excuse me.
Cleavers here.
Number one Georgia at number 21.
Hey, what rankings are you using, by the
Tennessee.
way?
Just whatever comes out.
Apparently the AP poll.
Well,
It's not the college football playoff polls. I haven't seen them this evening, though.
I haven't been looking because I was preparing.
Ohio
for the show.
State's been number 1 for 2 weeks, buddy.
All
I don't know
right.
why, but they
Number
have been.
2,
Clearly.
number 2 Georgia versus number 23 Tennessee. Then we'll say. Okay, we're just gonna make stuff up at this point. So Tennessee was embarrassed last week. Do you think that Josh Heupel has this team ready to go?
Claypool.
What did I say?
Claypool.
Heupel. Sorry. I read and then I go. Okay.
Cuckoo Cachoo.
Austin Pay.
Do you think that Tennessee is ready to go for this game? It's going to be a home game.
No.
Rebel.
No, with what you saw last week, I think you've got a lot of key players that have quit. That this season they've underachieved this season.
And they quit?
They've had aspirations of national championships, and they just have underperformed. And I think at this point, you've got some key people now who are in protection mode. We really don't have much to play for anymore. Take care of ourselves, get out of the season, and get on to the league, unfortunately, because coming off of last season, there was a lot of high hopes in Knoxville, but I just don't think they can do anything with it this week.
Not so fast.
No, not so fast.
If you're going to say that, you got to say it really in a confused manner.
Anyways, Neyland Stadium, Georgia #1's coming to town. Tons of hype going on. That's their last chance to showcase themselves, in my opinion. Georgia 38, Tennessee 21.
So that's their highlight is they scored 21 points.
Yeah, I mean, typical Neyland Stadium hype. It's going to be, all the energy, 105,000 fans going crazy. In the end, the better team wins, and the better team is
Typical
Hey,
Georgia.
Not so fast.
That's barely a not so fast what you just said.
Yeah,
Not so fast, but pretty fast.
There was some irony there. That's where we're going, a little bit. That's part of my shtick.
Okay, gotcha.
Georgia.
Iron Bowl, that's not till the next
Georgia is due for a loss. And
All right.
they get that loss this weekend against the Tennessee Volunteers.
Chopper. Bring
Yes.
it. Bringing it.
When
Yes,
they play them back,
absolutely.
when they play
I've
them
heard this now
basketball.
for 4 straight weeks.
Tennessee is not. I'm going with it until I'm right.
At least you own it.
At least you
Going
own
with it until I'm right. Okay. Georgia will not make the playoffs here. They're gonna have 2 losses to Tennessee and to Alabama. They're not making the playoffs.
I know
this
a lot of people that take you up on that bet if you want to make it.
Hey, did you want my opinion?
Yeah.
Who gives a crap?
About this game.
This game, it doesn't matter.
Well, Georgia's already in the SEC
Exactly,
championship.
it don't matter.
year. It does matter because Tennessee cannot play like that 2 weeks in a row. and won't play like that 2 weeks in a row.
Why? They've already played like that 2
No.
weeks
Because
in a
of
row
Joe
this
Milton?
season. Yeah,
They
Milton.
won't. They won't. I'm telling you.
They're not going to play like that they did last week. I guarantee it. They're going to
Yeah.
come back and they're going to play a
Oh,
little
we
bit
have a
better.
guarantee. We have a guarantee.
Guaranteed. Does that include
Guarantee.
free
I
beer?
guarantee if you take a dump in a box and you open it up, you're gonna have a box of crap.
Something like that. Something about a butcher. Never mind. Let's move on.
If you put your head in a butcher's butt,
All right. What the fuck?
what a fuck.
What the fuck? Ripper. No, wait. I'm not even going to talk to you anymore.
You're cut
Rebel. What the fuck?
Mine's kind of sort of what the fuck, but I got to get my shout out, so I'm gonna kind of use it now since it's the most inopportune time. What the fuck? Game day. Going to Harrisburg, Virginia.
Boom.
James
JMU.
Madison, App State, the number 18. What I do after I eat Taco Bell, take a Duke, is playing my Mountaineers, right? And they're 10-point dogs. App State goes up there, pulls off the shocker, beats them.
I was waiting for
Wins out two, saves their coach's job, wins the
There you
East,
go.
goes to the Sun Belt Championship game.
What
there
the
it is.
fuck? App State. What the fuck, Ripper?
Deshaun Watson.
I'm not talking
no.
to you.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the microphone. Second half, Deshaun Watson, 14 for 14. Where have you been the rest of the year?
You got a rub and tug at
Deshaun
half.
Watson, what the fuck? If that's what it takes, hey. I'll do it.
Chief, what the fuck, Chief?
Well, we didn't talk about this game, so I'm going to take my turn and talk about it. It's a highly likely upset. UNC's rolling into Clemson this weekend. Tigers are favored by 10. Drake May didn't look good. He threw one touchdown, one interception.
Number
against
one pick
Duke-
next year.
Against Duke. Tar Heel defense has given up 41% of all passes. I think Clemson is going to score the upset.
Clemson's going to beat UNC?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's at Death Valley.
What the fuck?
Rooting against his own team, what the fuck?
He pays
know
him a
that's
lot of
wrong.
tuition money.
Rooster.
Yeah.
Rooster, what the fuck, Rooster?
You know, I've been battling back and forth about the what the fuck moment. It sure as hell is not going to be Georgia losing to Tennessee. Okay.
Next week it will.
Sorry,
Syracuse
Chip.
winning?
Next week it will be.
There's some
What the
debate
fuck
there, but
is
that sure
it?
as hell is not a what the fuck moment. So I think my what the fuck moment really is, and we've already discussed it a little bit. It was all the hype with Colorado at the beginning of the season. I think we all knew they were going to be a pile of dog poop by the end of the season.
We all knew that.
And they are.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that
they
was
beat
consensus.
one. They beat one team, which was TCU, which lost 18 of their starters last year. I gotta
Including
tell
the
you,
quarterback.
I think everybody actually wanted to see TCU beat them just to stop the hype. What the fuck?
What the
fuck?
fuck? Chopper, what the fuck?
All right,
You know,
you're not gonna like my what the fuck hanger.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
go.
But what the fuck, Florida Gators? You were 5-2 after you beat the Game Chickens, and now you might not even make a bowl.
What the
What the
fuck?
I think I
What
said
the
they
fuck?
wouldn't win another game, and he got upset with me.
Did he cut you off too?
So that plays right into my what the fuck, which is every Facebook group I'm in for the Florida Gators will be like Gator Nation.
Is that like 13?
All we talk is Florida Gators, and everybody's on there, and all they do is talk. It's like 10 guys that just talk shit about the Gators the entire time, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just in
Calling
this
you
group.
out, other Florida Gator Facebook group people.
Hey, we just had a last call. Let's move
Next season's our season. What the fuck?
What the fuck, C-130?
C-130, what the fuck?
I got a what if, how does Dabo let DJ Ukulele go to Oregon State, who beats Washington this weekend?
What the fuck?
Bold
What the
prediction.
fuck?
Dabo.
Talk about what the fuck. That's going to just throw everything
Oh,
into
Club Nick
chaos.
ain't Club Nick.
Chaos.
Last call.
Last call.
Shout out to a veteran, your favorite veteran. Ripper, go.
I got two of them sitting right here. Chief, Rooster. Love you, brothers. Cheers.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
All right.
Rooster, your favorite veteran, man. Give me a shout out.
My favorite veteran, I also have two of them. Number one is my grandfather. He served in the Korean War, is a Purple Heart, and God rest his soul, passed in 1999. And my second one was my 2nd Battalion commander. He was a great mentor for me, Colonel George Aiken. He was taught me a lot of things as a young lieutenant and probably molded me on a lot of things. So, I think a lot of people talk about how bad the military is, but what they miss is the camaraderie, the leadership, the people that actually reach down and help, and it helps a lot of people out. So, not just the Army, all forces. Yes, the Air Force is included in that, Chief. But I've seen it, and there's a lot of people that were probably nothing and became something because they served in the United States military.
There you go. Shout out veteran.
All right, so my grandfather, World War II, Navy, spent time there, so that's my favorite veteran.
Nice. Shopper, give me a veteran.
My dad. Yeah.
Good guy.
Yep.
And you probably can't talk more than that.
No.
All right. Give me your favorite veteran. Shout out to a veteran. Come on.
My father-in-law fought in World War II in the Pacific and the Korean War in the Marine Corps, and my father, who was in the United States Army, both enlisted and an officer.
And you follow the footsteps.
He sounds awesome.
Well, Air Force though. Rebel.
Every male in my family for 3 generations, with the exception of being me, because I had the opportunity to play collegiate football is the only reason. I was in line to be a Marine pilot. That's what I wanted to do.
Number 49?
Had the opportunity to go play collegiate football, so here I am. But every male in my family for 3 generations served in the military. So,
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Cool. And I'll give a shout out to all the veterans that are sitting at this table right here. We also have one other veteran, the dude, Kevin, who was original founder of the show as well. Give a shout out to him, and then we probably have 100, probably a couple hundred veterans on the Facebook group as well. Thousands.
1 billion.
They participate in the Facebook group. I love it, and thank you all for serving our country. Thank you all for being here for us, and keep on coming back and listening to more guys at the bar talking sports.